Hi, I'm Michael. At Corwin Ford Tri-Cities, we're always looking for ways to connect with our community. So we figured, why not show some love to some of our local small businesses and share a few of our favorites? Plus, it gives us the opportunity to roll out in this beauty and have some great coffee. Today we're here at Fuel Up Cafe, and I'm here with Mario. This was Mario's choice of favorite local spots. So Mario, what is it that you do at Corwin Ford?
I am one of the owners and a general manager, so I see day-to-day operations from sales, service, and parts operations at the store.
And how long have you been doing that?
We bought the dealership in August of 2015, and I've been there since. New to Washington in August of 2015, so that's been a great adventure.
So you chose Fuel Up as one of your favorite spots, and why is that?
It's a local business that's owned by friends of mine, and it just opened, so remembering how it was when I came here in 2015 and tried to break in the existing scene, I wanted to have a little bit of exposure, and they make great coffee, and I wanted to be successful.
So when you come here and visit, what do you usually choose?
I'd like to get a mocha, and recently, in order to cut down my calories, I went to half sweet mochas, and they're delicious.
You got to do what you can right now, huh?
Got to.
So Mario, can you tell us a little bit about the vehicle you brought for us?
I'd love to. Selling cars is my favorite part of this. So the car that I have for us today is 2021 all-electric Mustang Mach-E. First thing you have to address with this car is the name Mustang, and if you follow Mustang enthusiasts, it's kind of like, hey, this is not a Mustang, it doesn't have a big roaring V8, it is not a performance car. And the funny thing about this car, it's actually very quick. Being electric, the acceleration on this thing is unbelievable.
I did notice when you came in, it was so quiet when you pulled in here, and I saw the Mustang, I thought, oh, I'm going to hear this, but you just eased right in and just whispered right in.
Yeah, it's funny, it's got 3 different drive modes, and one of them happened to be whisper mode, and that's your most economical. But this car here, it's an all-wheel drive car, and speaking of it being quiet, I find myself getting out of the car and not shutting it off because it's not like you have an engine running.
You can't tell if it's still going. I would totally do
there's,
that.
Not even vibration. It's really neat to drive this car. One of my favorite features is this. I hate carrying keys, and my phone is the key for the car. I can control pretty much everything out of my phone, including our tailgate. I can roll up and roll down windows. It's really neat. No more carrying additional key, and phone, it's pretty easy. You just put it in your pocket. You always have it on you.
You did all that from your app.
And my car will start without ever needing a key. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And this car has tons of really cool technology. For those people that love the sound, you can actually turn on a sound that gets pumped into the speakers to make it feel like you're driving.
Hear the rumble of the Mustang. I love that. Can we go ahead and take it for a spin?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right.
So the first thing that's obvious when you get in the car, right? Have a nice big screen, and it's divided into a few different portions. Those are your little comfort creatures, your heated seats, your heated steering wheel, auto climate control. So I'm gonna stay at a nice comfortable 70.
Heated steering wheel. I've been missing that.
Oh yeah, it's a great option in the morning. And here's a neat thing, because this is an electric car. So with the app I showed you on the phone, you set up times what temperature you want the car to be.
Oh my gosh.
When you get into it. So let's say you usually go to work at 7:45. The car will go through its stages of preheating the car, getting nice and ready for you. And again, at that time it's charged. You're not really wasting battery, and you're not really burning fossil fuel.
I think that's what I've been missing in my life.
Everybody has been.
That's
here
fantastic.
Now. So one of the things right now, it's the connectivity. It's a big deal for all of us. We live on our phones. We do everything on our phones. So with this one, you wirelessly have your Apple CarPlay. So now this is my phone. So top third of the screen is my phone, and everything that I use, all the apps that I use that I would want to, whether it's my Spotify music, Pandora music, different ways to navigate, communicate with people. Even if you want to listen to your books on tape, all is there. A calendar, so it's right there. It's all voice connected right through here. And we're talking to Siri.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Really neat features, allows you to drive hands-free. Next stage this car, it's obviously going to be some precursors for autonomous driving, and it's going to be probably come out later in the year where Ford's going to get to give you some more of autopilot type of control of the car, where your car will now change lanes for you with very low input from your steering wheel. It's really all about safety and comfort right now, and the lives we live today with being on our phones and communicating with people and trying to do more and more and more, we need cars that can keep up with that demand. We need to have cars that can help us to accomplish it easier, and this definitely does the trick.
That's amazing that you can integrate all of that. And this display, this is like 18 inches, so even I can see it.
Yeah, it's great. It's iPad, and it's, all the functionality is there. You can deal with, remember we were talking about the driver modes, right? We have the engage mode, and, it's neat. You just, hey, what is engage mode? Hey, it's just balance.
Fun driving.
Right? Balance, fun driving. The unbridled mode, right? This is
full Mustang.
This is where you want, exhilarating drive. And I may or may not only be using unbridled mode. I can't confirm or deny, but it's I've heard is the funnest one. And like I said, there's propulsion sound. So as we're gonna drive, we're gonna hear the sound. If it's annoying, we don't want it, we just turn it off. There's also a feature called one pedal drive, where you don't really use your brake because the car will stop for you. You still have to use your brake in emergency braking, but in normal traffic, as long as the normal traffic pattern flows, as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, you go into braking, pretty aggressive braking. So you kind of control everything with your accelerator. I learn about technology on this car all the time. There's new little things, new little nuances. One of the fun parts is, this is one of the cars that parks itself. So as we're driving, we press this little park button, and whether we want to parallel park or back into a spot, we'll tell it, turn the blinker to whichever way we want to turn, and the car will find a spot that's suitable for this size of car, back it in, parallel parks it for you with very little input from you.
Well, I'm ready to try some unbridled driving.
Okay, let's get our seatbelts going.
All right, I'm in. Good to go.
Take it for a drive.
And you have an overview and a rear view?
Yeah, we have a top view of the car, and it's a trick. It's not really top view. There's a bunch of cameras underneath. And like I said, one of the things you notice with electric car, because there's no transmission, there's no shifting, and it's kind of a fun thing to do, is the acceleration.
Holy smokes.
Because all the power goes right into the motor. There's no transmission, no loss of power. It's amazing. If you're, everybody that has an electric car, that's the one thing that always puts a smile on their face. Electric doesn't mean wimpy.
That's fantastic. So I imagine that's what you've been explaining is some of the reasons why you chose this car to come and present. So are there any other personal reasons?
Probably like everybody else, I'm, concerned about the environment, and I believe that this is the future of cars, and that's what future should be. It's not to say that vehicles that operate on fossil fuels don't have their place, but I think as long as we make concessions in a place where it's easy, and I ultimately think that electric cars for personal use, such a better car. So that's probably from a personal reason for me. But overall, like everybody else, I like the latest and the greatest and the newest gadgets. And this happens to be brand new thing in our wheelhouse. This is something that, like I said, Ford hasn't done before. And being a Ford dealer, this is exciting for me.
Well, I can certainly understand that. Now you're talking about your perspective and your opinion. So now I'm going to ask you, what is your philosophy on business? How do you look at business?
I'd say that always the elephant in the room is kind of the stigma that, car business comes with, the shady car dealer.
Right. Yeah.
It's been for a long time. I believe, like in every industry, there's an integrity part to it that you choose to follow it or not. And it happens in every industry. And, sometimes car business gets a bad rap, but sometimes it deserves it, the way we've treated customers. However, I think it changed. And one of the big things that we try to do, and my personal philosophy is, call it the Amazon philosophy. If we make it easy for people to do business with us, more people will want to do business with us. And it's not because of just prices. It's not because of just selections. It's that full package. Just treating people right, taking care of them, and making it easy for them to buy a car. It's a big decision, and cars are expensive. Something like this, $58,000. A lot of people work hard for that money, and when they make that decision, when they're ready to spend that money, they need to do it with somebody that will treat them right, take care of them, answers the questions, and makes it easy instead of throwing obstacles their way.
Yeah, it sounds like trust and relationship are a big part of your business. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from you.
Yes, Corwin family, my partners, they are fourth generation right now, and so we've been doing business for over 100 years.
Oh my God.
Started in a small town in North Dakota, and it always was built on, just the first working with local farmers and small businesses and, providing cars to, families that needed them. And it grew into much, much bigger thing, and it grew into a big enterprise. We now have, 11 different stores. And one thing, we have that in our stores in North Dakota where we have the longevity. And I've mentioned before, we've been here for 5 years, but we're planning on staying and being part of the, community. We get involved in a lot of community events, a lot of the things that community needs for support, especially when, things like COVID happen. Mm-hmm. It is up to functioning businesses to step up and help the community thrive, because ultimately, car business, it's only good where everybody in town is doing good. So it's one of our big motto is we got to make sure that our community is healthy, and healthy communities can support businesses.
Can you share a couple of things that you do with the community?
Yeah, I would say our biggest 3 places that we get involved with annually is Second Harvest, which is an organization that provides meals for people in need. Another one is Children's Development Center, and we do a lot of work with them, and again, kids with disabilities, and they do a wide area of things, and great in the community just to help kids that really need help the most. And then probably after that, it's we do some work with ARC of Tri-Cities, and also with Chaplaincy Health. Get involved in food drives. Get involved in helping patients, helping elderly, helping kids, and we try to center a lot of our dollars on sort of working with people that probably can't really help themselves as much. Both the younger kids and elderly. I think they're at the point in their life where they deserve for somebody to take care of them and help them, and we like to be part of those organizations. And we also do a lot of other small fun things, like getting involved with Humane Society and some of the other programs in town.
What's the craziest thing that's happened at your job? Or you think of one instance that was just kind of, wow, I didn't see that coming, or something really strange or funny that happened on the job at one time?
We have a gentleman that came out, and we're appraising his vehicle, and my used car manager takes it for a test drive. That's part of our process. And about 5 minutes before, right around the corner on Court Street, he gets 3 squad cars around him, lights on, pulled out of his car, handcuff. He matches the description. Then he's trying to explain what's going on. And it turns out that the gentleman that we were appraising his car has a warrant out for his arrest.
Oh man!
So, and he kind of looks like
just
the guy
happened to
who's
look just
driving
like
the car.
her. Wow.
So it wasn't funny at the time, but
in
this happened a couple
hindsight,
years ago.
over a glass of wine.
Awesome thing about car business is because money's involved, you see people sometimes at the worst, but you certainly see people a lot at their best. People that reach a goal in their life that they never thought they would, and just to be part of that is awesome. Cars people get for graduation, first college car as the kid goes off to college, and dad is buying a car for his daughter or son, and knowing that, hey,
And they're
now
proud
they're
to
gonna have
do
to
it.
maintain it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure it's a good car, and and it's entrust us with that. It just seems like a car, right? But the trust that it takes, because you're putting your most precious cargo in a car.
Yeah, it's a whole safety measure, and you want to make sure that they're protected and taken care of. No, that's fantastic. I was going to ask you, my next question was, what's the most rewarding part of your job? And I imagine that's a lot of it, but can you add to that?
It's two things. See people growing in their careers, and we've hired, I would say, story of one gentleman I have working for me. His name is Marcos. When he was originally hired at the dealership long time ago, before we even bought the dealership, he was hired as a porter, and that would be pretty much an entry-level minimum wage position. You just kind of go around and clean up stuff. This super hardworking man now, a family man, goes into his enterprise, into his business with no skills and with this entry-level job. And he is one of my sales managers right now, and he's succeeded in so many different departments. And you're so proud of that when you look at people and the lives that were impacted and changed because they worked with you and they worked for you. So I guess to me, that's one of the most rewarding things, to see people grow in their roles and have an opportunity, a different life than maybe they otherwise would if they went somewhere else.
So you were not only a part of that, but you got to see that. So the obvious next question, Mario, is how can I get one of these?
You can sit down with our sales consultant or yourself online. You just reserve one. We convert your reservation to an order, and it takes about 6 to 12 weeks, depending on what commodities you pick. And then it arrives at the dealership, and we give you this ownership experience, go over all the features, and help you along the way.
Well, sounds easy enough, and you sound like you make it a great experience. So
we try.
I appreciate so much your time.
Hey,
It was
thank
great
you very
talking to you
much.
today, Mario.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
You bet. And we will see you next time.